Hey, Jason, how long does it take to generate an income once you have a license? It depends totally, Jason, on the product that you're selling. I think what I can do here, actually, this would be a good kind of starting point, is discussing kind of the timeline to making an income, because it does weigh on which product and market you should sell. Because if you have an urgent need to make money, which most of us do, there are certain products you don't want to pick. Okay, so let's jump into that and explain it. So let's start with final expense first, since that's mainly what we do at the DIG Agency. So you should be able, after you're appointed or licensed, and then get appointments with carriers. Those are your legal appointments to represent the carriers with an agency in tow. That shouldn't take more than a couple of weeks, assuming you've already found the agency. That can take that much longer if you haven't. But really, once you're appointed, assuming you've learned the system, the processes, et cetera, you should be able to jump on the dialer and start selling, or if they teach you to go face to face, right away. And then final expense, it is a pretty quick turnaround to making a sale and then profiting. Typically from days to weeks is usually the typical timeline. That also extends into mortgage protection, to some extent, IULs, Index Universal Life, mainly life insurance products. Because they're front end commission driven, they tend to pay out fairly quickly, especially if you're selling what's called simplified issue products, which means there's no additional underwriting, records requests from the doctors, physicals to take, all of which extend the process to receiving an underwriting decision. Now, if you get into that line of work and that line of products, you could be weeks to months before you get actually paid or even know if the person is approved. Now, what if you're looking at something like health insurance, whether that's under 65, ACA plans, or perhaps maybe Medicare? So those products tend to pay upfront, but at a diminished level relative to life insurance. Where they make the most money for you is over the long term, if you can keep that client on the book for years at a time. So, for example, Medicare pays, it depends on what kind of product you sell, certainly how the commission structure is set up, 250 to 400, being really rough here with estimates, per sale. But that renews annually, either in perpetuity, meaning forever, or for a set number of years, usually 6 if it's a Medicare supplement. Whereas with ACA, typically it's as earned, so it's significantly less, $15, $20-ish per month per person on the policy, up to five heads per policy, I believe. So much lower income. This is why in the due diligence process, you should really assess for yourself how fast you need to make an income. Because one of the things that Medicare and ACA can provide, and also property and casualty insurance like car insurance, home insurance, et cetera, is a renewal-based income. But the problem with the renewal-based income strategies and insurance sales is the front end's not very good. So you either have to cross-sell additional policies, or you just have to not live on an income for a while. And 95% of people watching can't do that. The other alternative you could do in that route is to start with a salary plus bonus position in those respective niches. And that's a good way to start to learn the business, maybe save some money up before fully going into owning that book of business and having a renewal stream. What most people need, in my experience, is immediate income. They're getting into insurance because they're at a crossroads in their life or a career. They're not happy with what they're doing. They see there's not much long-term opportunity. And they're looking for a way to get into a business where there's uncapped earning potential, the ability to kind of determine their own schedule, et cetera, to have some freedom and some income opportunity. And insurance provides a great opportunity for that. And specifically, final expense, life insurance products, and really any life insurance for the most part that's not fully underwritten, pays quickly and facilitates the transition from another career into insurance, I think, a lot better. So that's one of the reasons I think you see a ton of recruiting into the life insurance space, because of the immediacy in getting paid. So long story short, to ultimately answer your question, Jason, it should be pretty quick after you get your license, assuming you have an agency that you're a part of. But to the degree of which you get paid and the size per policy or commission per policy, it's going to depend on which of those products that you choose. And again, my suggestion for most is life insurance-based products like final expense, because life insurance just pays a better first-year income. Incidentally, the renewal income is either non-existent or not that good. in life insurance relative to health insurance and Medicare.